It seemed a lot more tame this time.
That seems
like,
perfect.
It seemed, yeah. It sounded like it was like, I got the message, guys. I'm going to do my best to be a little bit more, like, on a more of a team player. So thank you.
Yeah, that sounded great. Did you just lean into the microphone?
I did.
It sounded suddenly much better.
Before, in case for our listeners, before 5 minutes before I pressed the record button, Matt yelled at me. He was like, "What the hell? What kind of podcaster are you? Leaning to the damn mic before I come over there and smack."
I told him to go pick out a switch and come back when he had a good strong one, because I wasn't going to handle any more of his shenanigans with these.
So after a good cry, I'm now leaning into my microphone.
One time when my mom was going to spank me when I was a kid, and they would always send me to my room, be like, "Go think about what you did, and then we're going to come up and spank you." And I'd be like, "Oh God, this is awful." And I'd go to my room.
So you had to go and think about what you did, waiting for them to come up and spank you? Like that was the sequence?
Yeah, the spanking was kind of sandwiched between episodes of thinking about what I did, because first I had to go to my room to think about what I did. Then the spanking would happen. And then after the spanking, I was instructed to stay in my room and continue to think about what I had done. So it was a sandwich of thinking about what I had done with a big spanking in the middle. But yeah, one time they sent me to my room. I think I was about 18. No, I'm just kidding. They sent me to my room. I joke. And they sent me to my room. And while I was waiting in my room for my mom to get there, I put a calendar in my pants because I had seen it in like a show. And if I'm not mistaken, it might have been Little House on the Prairie, but I'm not sure.
Nice, smart.
Yeah, but that would make sense, because I bet there's a lot of spankings in Little House on the Prairie, since it's from olden times.
Probably, yeah. I would imagine so.
Yeah, the further back in history you go, proportionally, the more spankings you will find, probably.
Oh, yeah.
But so anyway, I saw it on a TV show, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. So I put a calendar in my pants, but she saw it. And
I would imagine that she would, like, even if she didn't see it, she would feel it, like because like a calendar does not.
Yeah, maybe I hadn't thought it all the way through, but so she did. Yeah, she saw it, and she made me
supposed to be thinking about what you did. Instead, you were thinking about Little House on the Prairie.
I was thinking about Little House on the Prairie, and I was thinking about how I could avoid the consequences of whatever I had done.
Nice. Yeah.
Which shows a certain lack of sincerity in my, apologetic-ness towards the deed.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah, I doubt it was too horrible, whatever I did. But anyway, I put she saw, so she made me take the calendar out and gave me the spanking. And it's like, come on, like, give me credit for innovation.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's a spanking story for me. Yeah. Did you get spankings as a kid?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm not really? Spanking. Okay. I got like straight up beaten up.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
By your mom?
It's I don't hate my parents or anything. It's just like just a different time. I mean, it doesn't happen anymore. Like kids in these days, even in India, they don't get hit. I mean, it probably still happens, but not as much as when we were growing up. It was like normal. Like, yeah, we would talk about it the next day at school. Oh, my dad really went at.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
It was. Hold on one second. I'm gonna adjust my voice real quick. It's like too loud in my own ears.
How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hold on, let me see. Testing. Okay, that's much better. And then can you say something?
Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, so much better. My own voice was just killing me. It was so loud. Okay, that's better now. All right, anyway.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, we had spankings in America. And I don't know, maybe not as much as in India. So you're saying it was like really common in India?
Oh
when
yeah,
you were
super
growing up?
common, super common. I mean, you probably still see like memes about it. Not just India. Like I see similar kind of like content coming from like like Latin America, and Asia, parts of Asia, where it was just like, yeah, well, it's no big deal. Like it's expected almost. But I mean, not right now. But like back when I was growing up in the 90s. Yeah, it was quite common. I mean, we would even get hit at school. Like our teachers were allowed to hit us. It was totally fine.
That's pretty wild. Were there any teachers in particular who you sort of feared?
Oh, of course, yeah. We had a gym teacher who was just like he was a sadistic guy. Yeah.
Yeah, don't go by that, Mr. Patel.
No, screw that guy.
He'll screw you up. He'll mess you up.
Yeah. Don't ever try to take the volleyball out of the locker room. Or else
do you remember his actual name?
I don't. Nagraj? Yeah, Nagraj. That's his name. I remember his name. Yeah, I remember.
That's
his
hilarious.
Name. It'll be super funny if he's listening to this right now. But I don't think he would. The chances of him listening to this is very low, very low.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, which is that you can see the geographic locations of people who listen.
Okay.
You can't see you can't see any information about them. You don't even know what gender they are. You don't know their name. You don't know anything. So this is not meant as something to creep anyone out or deter someone from listening. I mean, my God, please continue listening. We need fans
We're not
to
spying
listen.
on you.
Yeah, we're relying on you. Our flight is resting on your shoulders. But it is funny because, there's like a few geographic locations that I'll see pop up repeatedly, of listeners to our show.
Oh, wait, so we have listeners from a certain area? That's cool.
Well, we do. It's like I can see that your brother listens.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's over there in the like Arab Emirates or something.
Dubai, that's right.
Yep, Dubai. So I see that now and then there's I'll tell you this, there's a dude or a person, I don't know if it's a dude, but there's a person from Utah
nice.
who listens. I don't know anyone in Utah. I don't know if you do. So that's exciting. No. Whoever. So thank you for that, Mr. Utah. That's great. Keep tuning in. So why is it always the gym teacher who is the most sort of strident personality? Like, they have funny personalities, gym teachers, I find.
Yeah. I'd like to agree. I mean, for me, it was like when I would watch like an American movie, I would always see like the gym teacher was the usually the character, or like kind of like the the person who was either like the antagonist or like the person who had the wildest personality, so
kind of like an adult bully of some kind.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of bullying,
like kind of like drill sergeant-esque kind of stuff. Yeah,
gym teachers, man.
Maybe it's just like the nature of the job, like it calls for it, like it brings it out of you.
Yeah,
maybe?
It's like a trope, and you just, once they give you that job, you fall right into it.
Once you get that whistle, you're just like, you transform, Dr.
Maybe
Jekyll,
you do
Mr.
transform. Maybe no matter who you were before you became a gym teacher, once you make that transition to being a gym teacher, you become like gym teachers.
Right. Yeah, once you wear those shorts that never fit right, you just transform.
Yeah, once you don that whistle, once you drape that whistle limply around your neck, and you pull on those short shorts, there's no going back.
Yeah.
Those shiny short shorts that I feel like people crossing the street at night should
joggers wear. Yeah.
Say that again?
Like joggers, like people who jog at night.
Yeah. Dude, those, not to get on a tangent, but like those jogging outfits, they're so fucking stupid. That's like the reason I don't jog. Like I enjoy running and jogging. Sometimes, in fact, I'll go to a park like near my studio here, and I'll run for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I actually did it before this episode. I ran for like, and I only run for like sometimes only 7 minutes or 8 minutes, but I'll run, and it's nice to be outside. And I run on the grass because they say running on concrete hurts your joints over time.
It sucks.
Yeah, they say it wears your joints down over time, which I guess makes sense. The pull of gravity on a really hard flat surface. So I'll run in the grass, try not to step in a gopher hole, and it's really nice to be outside. Say that again?
Nothing. I just said out. When you said gopher hole, I just imagined you stepping over and saying ouch.
Oh God, yeah, that would be. I'd be like one of those horses, and then you have to put him down.
So wait, so that's your update. Like that's a good update.
I will give that. I will provide that as an update and
a little jog. That's good.
Yeah, a little jog and like and so, but the reason that I do it at that park is so that no one can see me doing it. Because I don't, I probably would run further and be willing to be seen by more people.
Yeah.
But I can't go full on into running as a hobby because if you do, there comes a point you have to wear a stupid outfit. You have to wear these short shorts. You have with your fucking long, pasty, stupid legs exposed. You have to be running through a metropolitan society as if you're the only one who knows it's the apocalypse and you're running away from it, and everybody's like, "What is that guy?" We're all in cars and planes and bikes, and this guy's just running, and in this stupid little outfit, and flapping in the breeze, that little reflective cloth material, whatever that is, just like a little flag of surrender flapping in the wind as you run through this urban environment for all to see, almost like you want them to see, but it's not that you don't want them to see. It's just that's if you live in the city, it's like. That's the only way you're going to run.
You don't want to get run over or something.
And that too. You don't want to get run over. So it is smart, just like wearing one of those dorky, stupid, embarrassing looking bicycle helmets. You have to wear it if you don't want to be killed. You know, it's smart to wear it. You have to wear it.
You got to do it.
You gotta do it. But it looks stupid and it's embarrassing, and so I don't do those things because I don't want to look stupid. I just not comfortable.
Yeah. I if I was living in Los Angeles, I would love to go jog at the beach. But of course, I say that, but that's not really practical unless you actually live like within walking distance of the beach. Otherwise, by the time you drive over to the beach, you're not going to be in the mood to jog anymore because of the traffic.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Your spirit will be dead by the time you find parking.
Yeah. But for me, because I also don't like it when people see that I jog. So what I love to do, I love to go jogging on a trail.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I also just don't like straight up just jogging in a straight line. I always like zigzagging, jumping over stuff, things like that. Yeah. So like a trail is just perfect for me. I really enjoy it. And in my head, I picture myself like, some guy out like Ninja Warrior jumping and looking all cool. But in reality, I probably look like the Star Wars kid, swinging like this golf cart.
Oh my God. I love that. Is that an update for you?
Sure. Yeah.
Or maybe just it's a share of some kind.
Yeah, that's I would say like, yeah, that would be a little share from my side.
That's so funny. And then there's like these like fitness influencers who every single little everything that you might innovate just by simply being in your own skin and going on instinct. And you're like, I like jumping over this log when I run. Exactly what you just said. I prefer to run in zigzags and make it interesting. There's probably some fitness guy out there. His entire career is built up around this like theory, the Smith method.
Yeah.
And it's like this way of, hi, I'm Taylor Smith. And he's got this patented, trademarked teaching methodology
Right.
of the Smith method is an institution. And it's like he just, he lives in like Missouri, and he had the same realization as you one day where he's like, I like jumping over stuff when I'm running and make it more interesting and obstacles and stuff because it's fun and who wouldn't? But then he turns it into the whole Smith method and trademarks it and builds a career on and makes thousands of 20-second long social media videos that he pushes out there every day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
About how it prolongs lifespan and keeps you young longer, wakes up your brain in an organic fashion when you include obstacle play in your running routine. You see these people running in circles on a cement track.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're running themselves into the ground.
Is so like conspiracy theory minded today. He'll be like, "This is the secret that Big Health doesn't want you to know."
Big Health.
It's just everything's big. This and big that. It's like big pharma.
Everything's a villain.
Everything is a
coming
villain
to kill you. Everything's your enemy. But that social media guy, he's your friend, and
he's your friend. Like, he obviously cares about you.
Oh, he cares deeply about you on a personal level, and he wants
so much. That's why he's only giving you his course for $99 when it's
that's
actually
why he
worth
doesn't know
10,000.
your first name, but he'll take $70 of your money for 3 online for 3 online tutorials that he like pre-recorded. And it's like $90 or $70.
Yeah. Because he knows the one hack that nobody's talking about.
Oh yeah. He's sitting front seat to one of the great secrets of the universe, and he just wants to spread the love and which it. By the way, and not to be overly cynical, I'm sure a lot of them do, but it's also like, oh my God, like you're so desperate to differentiate yourself that you're turning something like as instinctive and intuitive as jumping over logs in the woods and making it fun. But maybe I'm the exception, and maybe you, Karan, maybe you're the exception where it's like maybe most people don't know how to have fun. Maybe most people who, especially adults, they just either lost track of it or they don't know how to follow their own instincts.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe they don't know how to have fun, and they need someone to teach them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They need somebody to tell them that it's okay. Like, just go out and do what you want to do. Like, don't think about it too much.
The Smith method gave me permission to have fun. Taylor Smith got me out of a very dark time.
Yeah, there'll be some follower reposting his video with like it'll be like split between him talking and them just pointing at him, being like, right here, what this guy's saying. And it's just like, oh my goodness.
He'll have these testimonials.
Yeah.
from these from people who did his course. Dude, I saw these. I get all these like vocal coaching. I get a plethora of vocal coaching videos that pop up in my feed because I like looked at a few specific ones at one point in time when I felt I needed them, and then forever after I'm just seeing vocal coaching videos coming at me left and right in social media. Can't escape them, and I keep clicking not interested.
Yeah, it's really awful.
Dude, these vocal coaches, they're a breed, man. They're characters. Like, they are people who become voice teachers. They, from my experience, they generally fall into one of 2 categories, either women or gay men. There are, I'm sure, a few straight men as well.
Sure.
But most of them are women, and many are gay men. And it's so funny because they're not like normal people. Like they'll have like a hat with a feather in it, like they're not, they have a whole brand image they're trying to build. And a lot of these vocal experts, quote unquote vocal experts, there's a little bit of snake oil out there, but there's a lot of snake oil, but there's also, they're all kind of teaching the same things, but in slightly different ways. And
right.
But they're happy to take $1,000 a session from you, or whatever.
Goodness.
Not that much, but I mean, oh my God, dude! Like this one vocal coach here in LA, this German lady. She was a nice lady, but she was quite a salesman, and having a bit of a background in sales myself. Not to pat myself on the back, but I feel like that stuff is super transparent to me. And It's probably super transparent to everyone too, but definitely for me. And I just like stopped taking someone seriously once I sensed that sales pitch coming at me. But this German woman was like, so I did some sessions with her, dude. And the reason I did sessions with her was she was one of the only people in Los Angeles who had a background in both speech language pathology or speech therapy, as well as voice coaching, because she had been an opera singer.
Okay.
Like singing coaching.
Okay.
So because I was having the struggles with muscle tension, I wanted someone like that with that variety in the background. And she was one of the only ones in LA. And let me tell you something, dude, these people who specialize in like vocal rehabilitative teaching or therapy, they're a very niche market. And some of them this woman charged like $250 an hour, dude.
Oh my goodness. That's like a lawyer or a doctor.
Yes.
That's
yes,
insane.
Dude, it is. They charge exorbitantly. I mean, it's to a point where it's basically offensive. Like it's on the spectrum of being offensive. Like how much it is, where you have to look at them with a straight face and, okay, I will pay that. I don't know, man, but I only did 6 sessions with her and it nearly made me homeless, but it nearly broke me financially, but I did it. Anyway.
Wow. Did it help though? Like in the sense, like, did you get value out of what she did? I mean,
I got some value out of it, but it was early on in my journey of overcoming the muscle tension stuff that I was going through, and it did help. I'll tell you what it did. It really did get me back to being able to speak and have conversation and talk without having a ton of vocal fatigue or pain or soreness after doing so. So it did bring me back to talking. It didn't bring back singing, but it started the ball rolling to get me back to it. I would say her methodology was, she was German, so it was extremely methodical. It was very methodical, and it was very locked in to systems that she knew or felt really worked based on her experience, and that was going to be it. It wasn't going to be a lot of sort of play outside of that, or like I don't want to say she wasn't open to play, but she wasn't open to there was a system and you were going to follow it. And it was nice in a way because it did kind of keep you, there's a psychological comfort in feeling like here are the answers and all you have to do is do the work. But what I really have learned, at least from my experience with muscle tension dysphonia, has just the last couple years, has been that, at least for me, there has to be an element of fun and play and freedom of where it's about being expressive and creative in the exercises you're doing. And it's not just about, like, there has to be an element that's intuitive, because if there's not an element of learning to sing that's really creative and intuitive, for me at least, you just lose the purpose, the context. Because if you're having me, you know, and you're having me do these, they'll have you do stuff like that. And if they call it lip trills.
Okay.
It's supposed to engage your diaphragm more. But the thing about that exercise, it only engages one part of your voice, which is the need for diaphragmatic support, diaphragmatic support is very important, but it's only one aspect of the colorful palette that is your voice. And there's other parts of your voice that are super important too, like, you know, the more nasally part up here, you know, and then the low part down here. And so you have to find the middle ground between those and merge those together to have a fully balanced sound. I mean, it's no different than like a guitar amplifier, right, where you're using the knobs, the treble, the mid, and the bass knobs to dial in. Let's dial in more bass. Let's dial less treble. Let's dial more middle.
Nice.
That's the human voice, and we do that intuitively, and we know how to do that intuitively. But once you get muscle tension dysphonia, you lose some ability to regulate and control that functionally.
Interesting.
And you also psychologically become a lot less confident in your voice. You question it more. You question words and sounds before they even leave your mouth, and you become very self-conscious. It affects your confidence in your ability to make sound, and so that's another part of the process, is getting out of your head. And I thought that particular trainer, that German lady, was good at helping me get out of my head in ways. I will give her some credit for that. But I did think she could have incorporated a little bit more creative or intuitive exercises into the routines of practice. Yeah.
That's an interesting thing that you said, you know, kind of like making things intuitive, more fun. You know, everyone learns differently, but I think that's part of like being creative, is that what draws you to being creative is that X factor, element of surprise, kind of like, you know, fun factor about, you know, a certain craft or a certain kind of thing that you want to do. So like it goes back to like when you go for a jog, how you want to run on a trail and do fun things, because that's, you know, otherwise it's kind of like just jogging on a treadmill.
You're right.
So boring, so tedious, you know.
That's a great connection you make between those two things.
Yeah.
You know, and it's almost like if you're just running in a straight line and there's no obstacles to jump over, there's nothing that mimics the natural order of things.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What's the meaning of it? Is it purely, I mean, I guess it could be purely just to clock your speed and your progress as a runner, but then it's like, well, how are you motivating yourself? Why do you even want to do it?
Yeah,
like if singing is not fun, why the fuck would I do it? You know, if it's just a miserable exercise, if it's just a tedious exercise, so it's like there has to be some kind of reward in things.
Yeah, it's kind of like figuring out how you learn and how you like to learn, and kind of like just applying. Like, it just goes back to like the whole thing about knowing yourself. I think that's probably one of the best gifts that you can ever give yourself, is just knowing how you work and how, like, what kind of appeals to you, what helps you learn and what helps you get better. Because there's, man, especially in this age of like countless amount of information, where literally people are making professions out of like small little niches, you know, like they're taking small little discoveries, like as you said. Yeah, Taylor Smith, as you said, like they will make one small tweak and then that's what they will hype that up to say, like, this is why I'm so valuable and why you need to pay me so much of money to learn my technique, you know?
And then people get hyper fixated on that technique.
Hyper fixated. Yeah. It's like, why are you getting, you know, so swayed by this? It's nothing different, you know?
It's 100%. And it's like the gym teacher who's going back to we'll tie in the gym teacher as well, who's blowing his whistle at you and hiking up his shorts and combing his hair back in a frustrated manner as you run laps around the gym. And it's like, is there a way you could make this fun?
Yeah.
I had a gym teacher named Coach Dominic D'Amico.
Yeah. Okay.
In high school. I actually really liked him. But when I say he was my coach, that's really aggrandizing to what he was for me in my life. He was my PE teacher.
Yeah.
But for other people, he was a coach. He was much more than only a PE teacher. Not that it's not okay to be a PE teacher,
okay,
if you're a good one. But he was more than that. He was a football coach at our school, and our school took football really seriously. I was not part of football and like the serious athletic side of my school.
Okay.
I was like the dork carrying a camera around trying to make videos or whatever. When I used to be in the gym doing my PE time, because it was mandatory to do a certain amount of PE. You had that in school too, right? Like mandatory.
I think everybody did. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I would be in the gym, basically, Coach Dom D'Amico would sit up there in this booth that had glass all around it, and he could survey the land. He could look out from his desk. He had an office in there. He could look through the glass and you would always see him, checking up on you, and he could watch you working out. He could keep an eye on things in the gym from that booth with glass all around it. And so for my hour of mandatory PE, there would be like almost no one else in there when I was there for some reason. Maybe my PE time was during a time it wasn't very active. And all I had to do, it was kind of a joke, but all I had to do was just for an hour, just be in that gym and do stuff. And so I would just try to entertain myself by trying different machines and so forth, Very little direct hands-on guidance from Coach D'Amico, but there would be moments where, because he was just like, just let this kid do his hour and get his credit, which I appreciated. But there would be moments where he would yell through the glass because I would be trying to lift too much weight or doing something wrong or like using a machine the wrong way. Maybe I'm on the butterfly machine and I'm doing a backstroke. I don't know. I'm doing something wrong. And all of a sudden, Coach Dominic would yell through the glass and I would hear him. He would be like, he was from Philadelphia. He had this funny accent. And he would yell through the glass and he would be like, "Mash!" He called me Mash. Yeah, that's how he pronounced mash for Mashburn. He'd be like, "Mash!" And I'd look up from whatever I was doing. He'd be like, "It's a little heavier than them video cameras, ain't it, Mash?" And I'd be like, yeah,
good one.
Good one. And then sometimes he would say like, he would kind of, I think part of his technique for motivating young people was through like insults, but they would be sort of comedic insults. Yeah, I remember he used to say things that were politically incorrect. One catchphrase I heard him say more than once to some people, different people, including myself, was like, "I want to see you running faster than an Aborigine chasing a squirrel." Holy shit, I can't imagine a fucking teacher saying that today. Gym teachers are characters, man.
Oh, yeah.
And so are vocal coaches.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
these fitness people, these people who brand themselves around like training, and they're characters.
I think anyone who kind of like professes to be like a guru in something, like for example, I'm gonna do a little bit of a plug here.
Go for it.
So a couple of, I mean, shit's hard for everybody. So I pretty much think, everybody is like trying to do like side hustles or do some kind of like side job here and there. And like, of course, because of that, there are people who have come about and, have said that they're gurus at making money on the side, and even gone as far as to say like, I have quit my job and I only work like 30 minutes a day, and I make like $20,000 a month, and it's like wild claims, and they have screenshots and stuff to like back it up. And there was, now I don't do it so much because I like, my situation is different. But before, when I was like job hunting and trying to like, I was not in the greatest financial state, I was always trying to like see what these hustles are about and trying to like follow them. And I would always be surprised, like, oh, this is not as easy or as straightforward as this person made it out to be. Yeah, like there is this guy online, which that's my plug. His Instagram handle is side.hustle reviews or something. Yeah, side hustle reviews. Yeah, that's him. Side hustle reviews. What he does is he actually goes and he will actually review what somebody's selling, and he will give you the reality of it. Like, so he takes what influencers and these gurus talk about, like, when they're like, oh, I made $100,000 drop shipping one item, or I'm going to teach you how to do it. Like, he actually goes and like takes their course, or like talks to them, or talks to like some of the people who have taken the course, and kind of like gets the information and then like reviews it for you. So I just want to give a shout out to him, because I think we need more people like that today, in this age when people are just selling left, right, and center, and he's pretty fair. Like, he does say like, yes, this is legit, but it will take effort, or stay away from this completely. So yeah, like it was just something that came to my mind, which is that I haven't seen many people like him out there. I've seen a lot of people selling all kinds of things, and all kinds of promises, but he's the only guy who I've seen who's actually like, no, I'm going to actually look into this and share my experience with people. So yeah, thanks, man. You probably saved us all a lot of time.
Yeah, seriously, that's awesome. Thanks for plugging. It sounds like a really helpful dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to share just a quick realization. Because I think a category we could have would be realizations.
Yep.
And a realization I would share is that I hate the saying "moment of truth." It gives me a lot of anxiety. I hate when people say,
I know, because it immediately puts you on alert, because you're like, moment, what's happening? Like, why? Moment of what?
Yeah, it makes me want to pull the plug on the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do this. This is there's a lot at stake suddenly. And then I wanted to hear, could we share a song of the day? Like, is there a song you really like that comes for maybe whatever popped into your mind when I said that? Who knows? But I do have a song. I think it would be kind of fun if we had a section called Song of the Day. Okay. And I have one that I would share, but I want to put invite you to share. Why don't you
go first, since I'm going to think about it while you go. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Song of the day. Buckle up.
What could it be?
So I want to share
Pick the Foo Fighters. Quiet down in the peanut gallery.
There's this song called Everlong by a band called the Foo Fighters. Silly name, I know, but give them a chance. No, there's a song that I think I actually discovered this song recently because I heard a guy on a podcast talking about it. You can sometimes you can discover neat things from a podcast, and who knows, maybe somebody will hear this and go listen to it, But it's a song by Queens of the Stone Age. It's called First It Giveth, which maybe for big fans of Queens of the Stone Age, Quatsa. Maybe for big fans of them, that's a really obvious one. I don't really know, but it wasn't one that I had really heard a lot, and it's not one you hear on the radio too often.
Okay.
But the song First It Giveth by Queens of the Stone Age is a really cool one. And so that's my song of the day. I enjoyed it. I was listening to it's rare, beyond beyond the age of 30, it becomes more and more rare, I guess, maybe at least for me, to sort of discover a song that, and I don't know if it was literally the first time I had ever heard it, but it was the first time my attention was drawn to it for some reason. Okay. And it's really fun when you discover a song that you kind of didn't, and it might be an old song or new, but you didn't know it was really out there, or you hadn't given it its proper due, and then you do, and it's like you're cranking it up in the car and you're listening to it multiple times. It's like that doesn't happen for me often. So this song kind of I did that a little bit with this one and kind of played it, enjoyed it.
What was the name of the song again?
It's called First It Giveth by Queens of the Stone Age.
First It Giveth. Okay.
First I'm gonna have to check that out. Giveth and it taketh away. Yeah, it's a cool song. Check it out if you get to check it out. Get a chance.
Yeah,
I will. Yeah,
I will. For me, it's actually totally random. Like I was driving and this song came on. It's called "End of Beginnings" by I don't even know how to say the band name. But it's spelled DJO, Joe maybe. I don't know, but it's it's like it's not a song that I would totally think I would like. But it was just playing in the car. They play it on Spotify. And I was like, hey, this is kind of like a nice song. It's got a nice vibe to it. And then this is something that always gets me about a song. If I like a song and then I go and I watch the live performance on YouTube and the live performance is good, I always give that song extra points and the band extra points because I know it's not easy to do a live show and sound good live. So if you sound good live, you are big in my book. And when I say sound good live, I mean like you're actually playing an instrument and singing and not like, just playing it from speakers and lip syncing it, that's, I mean, like, the way a rock band plays live. Yeah. So, I totally random fact, but one of the front man, the lead singer of that group is one of the guys from Stranger Things. He, forgive me, I haven't seen that show past a certain season, not because I don't want to, but because I just couldn't. But he plays a pretty main character in Stranger Things. I forget the name, but if you go look him up, I'm sure you'll recognize him immediately.
Is his name David Harbour?
No, he's not an old guy. He's like the younger guy. He's like a young guy.
Okay.
Hold on, I can totally tell you who
David
he plays
Harbour,
on Stranger Things.
If you're listening, you're not old. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay. So his name is Joe Keery. So maybe DJO stands for Joe in like a different way. But yeah, and he plays somebody on Stranger Things. I can probably tell you in just a second. But yeah, that song, when I heard it, I was like, yeah, this is kind of like a nice song. This is got like a nice chill vibe. He plays Steve Harrington in Stranger Things. If for those of you who watch that show, which I'm sure it's a lot.
I don't know who that is, but I'm sure zillions of people do.
Oh yeah, it's a huge. I mean, I saw season 1. I loved it. I loved season 1. It was great. I think they did a really good job of like incorporating like a nice sci-fi kind of story with like super like nostalgia, which is something that I think a lot of people in our generation are currently like crave, because like we grew up with in such a different world than the world that's around today. Like so much, especially our generation, because we had one foot in like the analog side and one foot on the digital side with the whole, rise of the internet and social media. But we kind of remember a time when that wasn't a thing and you actually had to sit around and make conversation with people.
Yeah. What a thought.
Who would have thought? Yeah.
But what I've heard recently, what I'm seeing and what I've understand is that a lot of Gen Z, because we're millennials, but a lot of the class below us, the Gen Zs, they have a fascination with sort of retro things and sort of a time of the past. I think probably if I had to project on them, I think it's probably because it's a lot more colorful and interesting and exciting than the current present that we live in.
Yeah, I would have to say, I mean, I've never actually, it's funny you say that. I was thinking about it the other day. I was thinking about how it would be to have been born in the year 2008, and which is, if you were born in 2008, you would be a teenager right now, and almost at the end of your teenage years, actually. And all you would know is social media, internet, and smartphones. But I was thinking, if a person like that watched, like, which would now be somewhat of a classic film, like a film from the 90s, like the first Die Hard, or like Scream, one of those early movies where there was no phone, no smartphone, no internet. Like I would be curious to know what they would think of that, and they would be like, this is so strange. Like, would it be strange to them, or would they be like, that's crazy, like,
Yeah.
that exists, or would they
That's
would they
crazy,
like
fam.
crave that? I guess that's something that Stranger Things set out to answer. And I think they've kind of showed that there is kind of like a demand for that in a way,
Yeah, and amongst the young and the old, I'm definitely. I mean, but I will say on that note that although these devices we're inundated in of smartphones and apps and social media, although it can really make it seem like life itself has been stripped of all mystery and wonder because everything we ever do is only valued if it's filmed and posted
and
or
reacted to.
and there's an audience for it, and if there's no audience for it, then what's the value of it? Nothing.
Right.
The truth is, that's only a frame of mind, and all you have to do is flip the switch and realize that the mystery and wonder of life is always there and always has been, and it's simply waiting for you. And the invitation's always there, and all you have to do is accept it. And, you don't... these apps and these social media, it's an illusion. It hasn't stopped life from being interesting or mysterious.
No.
Because the truth is that all of that is a facade.
Yep.
And the realness of life is more so in how you experience it yourself as an individual, which cannot be quantified by how many other people may react to it or how you present it through social media or whatever else.
Yeah.
So that's comforting to me because I know all I have to do is kind of tune out a little bit from some of those distractions and some of that noise, and I can always get back to finding some sort of wonder or mystery in the world.
Yeah. I'm actually, that's a good realization, and I'm actually going to build on top of that and add a little bit of a prediction, which I feel like with the whole advent of AI, that push against the digital presence is going to get more and more, because what you talked about social media being an illusion, it's kind of like coming to light now, because more and more people are realizing that they are actually talking to bots online, or like AI, like like an AI bot, and it's not even like a real person that they're speaking to. If you go to like any kind of like live stream, or any kind of like even like a forum, you can tell like there are so many people who on there who who are trying to push a certain kind of agenda or certain kind of topic, certain kind of argument. And it recently, like they've run studies on this, and they pushed out like a bunch of information saying that a lot of those especially in politics, a lot of those like online people who are pushing a certain narrative are actually kind of like bots. They're not even real. Like they're just you pay a company
so
to run that for you, and so it's really
It's all
kind
fake.
of deceptive. Yeah, it's very deceptive, and I think the more
People are becoming jaded to that deception.
Yeah, exactly.
They're sick of it. They're fed up with it.
Of course, who wouldn't be?
Yeah, who wouldn't be?
Because it's such a strain on your mental health. To go online and like just look at people being disgusting and people being so like mean to each other. But I
Well,
guess
it's
one
also
solace is that,
totally.
they're not real.
Well, dude,
Completely.
that is a solace that it isn't real, and that's not the reality of life.
No,
That's a
no.
fucking facade, and you don't have to live in that or live in front of that. You do have the option to get away from that. And by the way, these bots that push out these ads and these algorithms and so forth, because they're AI, because they're inhuman, they're not human. That means that they don't have any sense of things beyond what numbers and data tell them.
Yeah.
And they don't have any instincts. People have instincts. AI doesn't. And AI is non-human, so it has no feelings. AI does not have, you and I have desires, we have emotions. AI doesn't have that. So as much as that can be a strength for it, sometimes it's also a weakness because it doesn't realize once it's really starting to overstep its bounds of how much of it we can tolerate.
Yeah.
Like if you're a human being and you're in a room and you're overstepping your bounds, kind of like Mac used to do, you can, most people, maybe not Mac, but most people can sort of sense, oh, let me pull it back because I feel the vibe in this room.
Right. Yes.
AI doesn't feel fucking vibes.
No.
AI doesn't feel vibes. AI runs on numbers. And guess what? Numbers are true in certain ways, but in some contexts, they can be deceiving or misleading.
Yeah.
To true value or truth.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is comforting because fuck AI.
Yeah. Seriously, no. That's the sentiment that a lot of people are feeling now because the narrative is it's seeping into almost every part of life, right? I mean, it's definitely very helpful to like certain fields. Like for example, like I think in research in medicine, like it's increased how fast people can get information and analyze data, those kind of things. It's great for that. But when it comes to like social media and like pushing certain kind of
overbearing
agenda, like it's
but it's good because it's showing people the shortcomings of AI and reminding them the importance of being human.
I think more importantly, it's showing people the shortcomings of the whole digital kind of footprint or persona that you kind of like have, that the number of likes you get, the number of like appreciation, it's not real. Doesn't translate all the time to like real kind of engagement,
connection,
real connection. Yeah. Exactly. I'm not saying it's going to go back to the way it was before. It's never going back to the way it was before. That's unrealistic. But it is not going to stay at this euphoric level of like, TikTok influencers and kind of like just really kind of like deranged arguments online.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's going to be a little bit of like a step back from that, where even if it still exists, people don't take it so seriously anymore.
Right.
They don't get
That's a
triggered
good
by
way
it.
to say it.
Yeah.
They'll put less weight in it, and
as they should.
And I'll say this too is, I think people are becoming kind of aware of the fact that AI and technology in general is not fulfilling all of the promises it made. It's in terms of the purpose that it supposedly was meant to pursue or achieve, the goals it was meant to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't achieved a lot of them. I mean, for example, okay, there's so much AI in the creative sphere of editing, things that make editing faster. And by the way, some of it is really awesome. So when I say fuck AI or when I say I hate AI, I don't hate all AI. Some of it used in conjunction with human creativity can yield good things and can, hasten the process toward the goal. But supposedly, right, like the original goal of it would be take some of the workload off the creator, make the process more efficient. This will give the creator, the human, more time to focus on being brilliant and creative and original. And then art will be even better than it was before AI, because AI is going to help us. Because otherwise, I mean, if the purpose of AI in the artistic field is just to make art more efficient and allow you to crank out more quantity of art,
Yeah.
that to me is antithetical to the purpose of what art is, which is a thing that is meant to move people emotionally, and to trigger mental journeys and transcendent ideas and feelings in them. That's an emotional process, and it's a very human process. And what I have really seen from AI is that if it was supposed to help us do a better job of getting there, it hasn't. Because I think the proof is in the pudding. Is art and music and film today in 2026 better in quality than it was in the 70s? If your answer to that question is no, which it probably should be, because I think that is the answer, art, movies, music today are not better or more impactful emotionally or creatively than art in the 70s or 60s or whenever. To me, that's literally the proof in the pudding. That's literally all the proof you need that AI, again, some of it is really helpful in making the process of creating art easier, but overall, it hasn't made art better. Like, art's not better after AI, post AI. So
yeah.
My hope is that Gen Z and some of the younger folks are realizing that, and I think they are, and that they're kind of starting to try to reconnect with the more raw, gritty, human sides of life.
I mean, I think, first of all, like, I think art is all, I think there's kind of like an unspoken understanding and agreement that art is sacred ground only for humans, because, that's kind of like one of the things that makes art so beautiful is it was made by a person. And even though you haven't thought about that, I think deep down in your subconscious, you understand what I'm trying to say. So, like, when the whole AI thing came in, like, I'm always curious to see who adopts it, and I've seen, like, in the tech sphere, it's been adopted like pretty quickly, because it makes sense, because most people in tech understand what it can do and what its limitations are, and it's part of the field to kind of adapt to new technology. Like, that's kind of like is one of the trademarks of someone who works in that in the technology sphere. But in art, like, I saw like immediate pushback from a lot of like people who are prominent in the art, but also companies like Spotify, who produce a lot of podcasts or music sharing, all of that stuff. They, in fact, I think, was it Spotify or iHeartRadio, one of them, who like actually tweeted saying, like, we guarantee that everything we produce, even the music that we use for our shows, is completely made by humans. Like, there is no AI factor in it at all. And they wore that as like a badge of honor. And, like, for me, that was like the first sign, like, okay, this is something that going forward, like, I think more and more kind of like big players in the art field will start to do. Where it's like, listen, you don't have to worry. This is all human, kind of.
Yeah, this is grass-fed beef.
Grass-fed beef, yeah, exactly. Not to say, like, people aren't using AI for art. Like, you can see it almost everywhere. Like, when you go on, like, on your social media feed, there's a lot of people who, before, they would just have like a short explaining something and have like still images. Now those images are animated. Now, like, there's actually like action happening in them. It's definitely being used for that. But when I say art, I mean like creating making a song that's released to that in the hopes that it's one day going to be in the Billboard 100 top 100, or like making a movie that you hope is going to one day get an Oscar nod. Like those kind of like big kind of like art projects are still going to be mostly driven by humans.
That's right. And when someone asked me recently, Matt, aren't you scared about AI? I'm not at all, to be honest with you, because yes, it can replace certain mindless tasks that we're all grateful to get rid of, but it can't replace human creativity, because in the process of being creative as a human, you have to be able to evaluate the emotional value of things outside of a pre-existing defined context. And I don't think AI can do that yet. And I don't know if it ever will, but it certainly can't yet. And it's like, I'll give you an example. Like, the shortcoming of AI is that it bypasses accidents, happy accidents, and imperfections and mistakes, and those things are actually discoveries that you make in the artistic or creative process, and you need them. And because we're humans with emotions, when a happy accident or mistake or unexpected discovery occurs, we're able to gauge the emotional value of it in a human context. And that's how art becomes original and idiosyncratic and maintains being valuable or having meaning to other humans. Maybe not to, birds and dogs, but to other humans. Although we had a dog that loved music, and he would sing along. He loved harmonicas. Anytime there's a harmonica, he'd start howling. But anyway, AI's shortcoming is it forgoes imperfection. And it can fake imperfection to achieve a certain, but like with AI, for example, if you were to program in your settings of what you want, because AI has no desires. It's not a human being. It doesn't care if it makes a song or doesn't make a song. It doesn't exist. It's not a being. It's technology. So you have to tell it what to do. Okay. So, or at least tell it how to go about doing what it's going to be doing. So like because it has no personal will of it or desire, and you could give it a will or desire, but you would have to program in that will or desire and define its parameters and so forth. So if you, for example, tell AI, make me a song, AI is going to be like, okay, give me the parameters. You're going to be like, I want a country song similar to a mix of Neil Young and Alan Jackson, whatever that would sound like. And I want it to be about my favorite old vintage truck. In 1 minute, it could spit out a song that works and fits those parameters, that will hit all of those marks. Some people might be really wowed by that. They're like, wow, look what it can do, right? And it is amazing how closely it can mimic or imitate certain things. Right. It does a great job of mimicry. But if you were to give those if you were to go to a human, not AI, go to a human and say, go to a songwriter or a human being and say, I want you to write me a song. And they say, what kind of song? You say, country song, mix of Alan Jackson and Neil Young. It's about an old vintage truck of mine that I love. Tell it the same thing you told the AI. Now, I mean, yeah, granted, if you're like paying that person to do it, then they kind of have to try to do exactly what you say, and it limits it a little bit more. But what might happen along the way with the human is, they might kind of accidentally discover just a little bit of a Johnny Cash thing in this verse, and they just kind of go with it because they like it, because they're like, ooh, that makes me feel good. Yeah. And AI doesn't have feelings. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel bad either. If it discovers a little bit of a Johnny Cash twang in that verse, it just eliminates it immediately because that's a mistake. Yeah. But what happens with those little discoveries along the way that only a human can see the value in and incorporate, you just get a way more emotionally layered, interesting, personal, but also universal, like experience out of the art. There's more depth, and there's these so-called imperfections that make it so much more original and idiosyncratic. And the person fails at the goal of making it exactly fit those original parameters, but they succeed at a much more important goal in the grand scheme, which is to make a great piece of art.
No, you're absolutely right about that, because like those little nuances that humans bring, even if it's like a mistake or something, it's actually kind of like what makes something beautiful. Like that's art, right? Like it's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be imperfect. It's supposed to be basically a human creation. For me, I just can't wait for see what happens when like the shillers, or the people who are just, because these people exist, the people who are like, oh, it's so easy to make a song. Like, why are we paying artists so much? Like, why do I have to pay so much for like a graphic design?
Fucking accountants.
Yeah,
they don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, they're not artists.
Yeah, I just can't wait for them to like try to use AI to do something. I think some guy did it recently. He posted something. He made a movie using AI, and he posted very proudly saying, "This is like, check it out, all made by AI." And he got pretty much like, I think most people were just like, "This is terrible. Like, this is horrible."
I know, but it's almost like rage bait, where like he gets attention for it.
Exactly.
Which I guess is what he wanted anyway.
Yeah, it's like he's, and I mean, it's incoming. That's the way he's going to spin it in his Instagram story, probably. Like I totally see, like, for example, like AI being used maybe to like do more visual effects, just things like that. I can absolutely see that happening, and people not caring about it. But will, like, it's up for debate, but I'm curious to see like how AI is used to like maybe write a book or maybe write a screenplay, that somebody uses AI to do that and then tries to sell it as that was written by them, as a human. And I'm curious to see how that dynamic would be. But yeah, at the moment, at least, it's like, yeah.
Well, it's like I did read a little blurb of a screenplay where the AI had been instructed to mimic Seinfeld. Again, AI can only mimic, it can't originate, at least not meaningfully. It can originate, but not meaningfully.
Right.
Humans can do both those things simultaneously. And when I say meaningfully, I mean in the context of humanity. It's meaningful to other humans. How do you teach machinery or technology to sense that or know that? I don't know. So Jack White talks about how, So I read this blurb of a script automatically that was generated by AI, where the instructions were, I guess, to mimic the show Seinfeld, like write an episode of Seinfeld. And it did, but it was so transparently mimicry that it was boring and not that funny. Because a big part of humor is surprise. It's like, I heard a quote recently that humor or comedy is basically a combination of the truth with surprise, the element of, in other words, you're listening to a comedian talk, or you're listening to a joke, or you hear something that makes you laugh.
Right.
You're laughing because it both surprised you, what you witnessed or heard, and simultaneously had an element of truth to it that resonated. And the combination made you giggle or laugh, or guffaw or chortle. It was impressive technically how it was all laid out like a real script, with the same character names, and it was formatted properly. I mean, for stuff like that, AI is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
To jump back to what I was saying about unexpected surprises being important in the creative process, Jack White talks about that a lot, and he hates AI and stuff. There are intangible benefits to the process by which you arrive at the end. Not everything is just a means to an end, but with AI, everything is just a means to an end. There's no value in the process. It's all about bypassing the process. But again, you arrive at some of the best discoveries in the process creatively. And so you miss those with AI sometimes. Like, for example, you might think, I don't want to mess with a physical, lugging a heavy guitar amp into my house. I don't want to learn to, I don't want to dial those knobs, get down on my hands and knees and turn those physical knobs. That sounds like so much work, man. What a waste of time. But then it's like, well, yeah, but as you're dialing in and trying trial and error, trying different tones and experimenting with that amp, there's way more permutations of possibilities of surprises that you could discover in doing that. Maybe the amp does kind of a weird squeak that wouldn't really be desirable in most contexts, but in this particular one, it's perfect. You're not going to discover that using the amp emulators. And I can just hear someone hearing that and saying, well, actually, you kind of can because you can program it so that it squeaks. Yeah. And it's like, well, yeah, you can. But then again, you are then consciously bypassing the discovery process by telling it what to do and telling it how to sound. You gain efficiency with AI. You miss out on surprise.
Yeah. You learn things by doing, and that's what makes you better. So it's kind of like detrimental to pawn off that process to something else. So if you are an artist using AI, then use it wisely, I guess. Because it's it might be actually making you worse at your art in the long run. Yeah, this is one of those topics that's just going to keep going because we're pretty much just at the beginning of it. So it's going to be interesting to see how it evolves. But yeah, we appreciate you guys stopping by, and we will see you on the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.